Billy was just talking about just how long you've been running routes. Just can you give us a little background on just what your process has been to turn yourself into the player that you are now?
Just repetition, to be honest. Just going out there every day with the same mindset that I'm going to get better at something. And I think that's something that is necessary for a receiver to have, you know what I mean, is go out in the day and knowing exactly what you're going to get better at that day. And I think I've, stacked days on days of doing so. And, I mean, it just developed, and that's what I did.
Going back to when? Did you really start getting serious about refining routes and being able to get over?
I mean, I've always been a hard worker, so I think that's something that's really, going for me is my work ethic, and I think that just over time that's developed, all these since I was a freshman in college, I actually switched to receiver my sophomore year in high school, so that's when I really started, running routes and stuff like that and taking it serious. So ever since then, just going out there every single day with the same mindset that I'm going to get better at something, and, 1% every day is what I live by, so.
QB before that?
Before what?
You turned into a receiver, I just assumed. You're
So
good.
QB, yes, definitely.
Okay.
The difference in the atmosphere and in Pac-12 and the atmosphere that you were here part of Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, it took a second for me to soak it in, when I walked out that tunnel for the first time because, it's different, a different atmosphere out there in the swamp, everybody wants to talk about it. I heard all about it when I was coming here. And, the Pac-12 and the SEC are definitely two different atmospheres for sure. And, I mean, when I took a deep breath, soaked it all in, and just, it's a blessing to go out there and be able to, play in front of an atmosphere like that. No, it was really loud. It was really loud, And, I mean, on offense, it's not as loud, but when the defense goes out there and the crowd starts going, it gets really loud out there.
Can you take us back to your recruitment process and what that was like as a transfer and why you ultimately landed here?
Yeah, so it was a big decision for me to actually enter in the portal because, I'm from Tempe. So it was a really big decision. I mean, I talked over with my family, you know what I mean, and made sure they were good with it as well as me, And then, we just decided to do it. It was best for me, you know what I mean, and entering the portal. I mean, I wasn't expecting how it went because, I've never experienced something like that before. So when I entered the portal, I woke up that morning to phone calls, and then, the rest of that entire week, honestly, I was on the phone for the entire time because, I wanted to make that right decision. And, I put all my trust in Billy Napier, and I think he's a tremendous coach. And, just the things that he had to say, made me trust him and want to be here.
You had a really good first week of camp. You kind of flashed, and then you had a health setback, obviously, and then you came back. How tough was that, and how does it feel to come back, and how are you feeling now?
Yeah, I mean, the Lord has a plan, and He's never going to give me something I can't handle, and that's just kind of how I look at it, And I know it was very unfortunate because I just got here, and that was one of my, that was my first week of practice, really, actually my second week of practice, and it was really unfortunate because, I want to be out there with my guys, and I just got here, and I want to show everybody, what I got, and I felt like I was only there for a few days, and I couldn't really show everybody what I got, but. I'm good now, and I'm going to keep building on these days and keep proving to the world and proving to my teammates, that I can go. You know what I mean? So that's just how I look at it.
How important are the receivers you think going to be on Saturday? Because this could be a game where Kentucky stacks the box, considering how well Florida ran week one. So.
I mean, going into this week, I feel like going into every week, you got to look at it as the receivers are going to make a big impact on the game. I prepare that way, and I expect all the other receivers in the receiver room to prepare that way. And I think even in the passing or even in the running game, receivers are really impactful with the run blocking and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because when the running back breaks in the second level, you got to be there on your safety. You got to be there on your corner to make big run plays. For Trevor, from all those guys. You know what I mean? So I think every week the receivers can make a big impact.
What's it like playing with Anthony Richardson?
Oh, it's a blessing. You know what I mean? It's a blessing to have a quarterback like that. And that was actually another reason why I came here is because, we talked a lot before I got here, and I had full trust in him. And, he had a lot of good things to say. And, I believed everything that was, all the sting that was coming behind him. You know what I mean? And he's a tremendous athlete. He can throw the ball. And everything you want in a quarterback, he has. And
what's his arm like?
He's got a rocket for an arm.
Yeah, he threw some
Yeah,
bullets.
if he wants to throw it across the entire field, he can do that. You just ask him, he'll throw it 100 yards.
What's it like catching his ball?
Oh, you got to be prepared. You got to be prepared for sure. You got to have strong hands, but that's why I'm on the jugs machine every day, in the morning and at night. So.
Ricky, the first three catches that you had against Utah, they were all for first downs. They were, just rockets right from AR. How important was it for you guys to get on the same page from the very first throw in that way? Hey, look, just like practice, we can do it in the big game too.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it goes back to our repetition, and the work that we put in during practice. And even when I got hurt, I still made sure that we got together and got some catches in, just so he could see me catching the ball. You know what I mean? And I could see him throwing the ball. And I think that all carries over into the game. You know what I mean? So when we got in the game, it was just us playing, playing football. And as soon as he saw me get that first catch, I probably put more, trust in me and stuff like that. And then we just started rolling.
Now, for you, this first week is going to be the first time you play an SEC team, right, in Kentucky. How excited are you to feel what this atmosphere is going to be like compared to what last week was?
Yeah, I'm super excited. That's what I came here for, I wanted to play in the SEC, and it's going to be my first conference play, and I'm super excited. I can't stop talking about it. I'm going up to every coach, and I'm like, are you ready for this weekend? Because I'm ready for this weekend, so I'm excited.
Jugs machine morning and night?
Yeah, you got to get them all the time.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
I mean, it's a routine, you got to get in 100 catches each time. I mean, in a row. That's how I look at it. Is I got to get 100 in a row on the jugs machine before I can leave. So if I drop one, I got to restart.
What time in the morning?
I usually get here around 8 and to get some treatment. That's when my treatment actually starts. So I have to get here earlier for breakfast. But then as soon as I'm done with treatment, then I just go out and get some jugs. Then you know how it goes. Student athlete, then you got to go do academics and all these other things. But yeah, you got to get a routine together. Like Napier always says, get your routine together, and that's going to carry you through your week, and stack those days.
You got to have somebody feeding that too, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. All the equipment guys, all the weight room guys, you know what I mean? They all are there for me, and you got to thank them all the time because they're there as much as you are. If not, they're there longer. You know what I mean? And so you just got to make sure you thank them, and it's a blessing to have them too as well. So shout out to all of them.
How often do you start and finish 100? Just boom to 100 and go.
Like what do you mean?
Like you started without starting.
Oh, without starting over. Well, you just got to go. You know what I mean? If you drop one, you got to restart the 100.
How often can you just go 0 to 100?
Oh, every time. You got.
Never drop.
No, I mean, for me, in my head, I never drop one. You know what I mean? That's the mentality you got to have. You know what I mean? Even if I drop it, I didn't drop it. You know what I mean? You got to throw that ball away. That's a bad ball. It's never a bad. It's never a drop. It's a bad ball.
You always get 100.
Yeah, you always get 100.
Is it always football?
Was there one thing?
I understood the question. You know what I mean?
Is it always football? Some guys use tennis balls.
Yeah. I mean, I was actually looking at it because at ASU, actually, we had a tennis ball machine, so I used to do that. So I hope we can get one of those. I really like catching tennis balls, too, as well. But, I mean, I catch football. So catching the football is going to benefit me more than anything. You know what I mean? That's all I'm going to catch. So.
How much did Colbert deconstruct you, man? Or were you, having 3 years of college behind you already, did he kind of view you as a product you just needed polishing, or did he kind of really dig into some things with you?
I'm sorry, who'd you say?
Coach Colbert.
Oh, yeah. No, we hit off right away, you know what I mean? And we kind of had similar backgrounds because he was over at SC, so he knew a little bit about me, and I knew a little bit about him. And actually, my old coach at ASU, Coach B, they had a really strong connection with each other because he was over at SC before that. So we kind of talked about him a little bit, and I got more information about him, and right away we clicked, And I think the biggest part for me that I like about him is he's a technician. He puts his own cleats on when he goes out to practice. That just shows, how engaged he is and how much he shows us like what we really need to be doing. And I'm all about detail, so I mean, so is he. So I mean, I think that's how we connected right away. Is just he's so detail oriented and about being a technician, and I love that.
Looking back on when you were recruited, is there one thing one person said that clicked in your mind? You said, "This is my place."
I don't know about one thing. I think it was just everything combined, because it was a huge decision for me, I mean, I can't really go anywhere else from here. So just playing in the SEC, you know what I mean, and Napier, and then having an AR. And I think it was just a perfect spot for me, you know what I mean? And Florida's a great place. So. And all the tradition, I think that's a big part for it, too.
What was the process of you getting number one? Was that something that you asked for? Were you assigned it?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really ask for it, to be honest. What I did ask for was number 5. And this was on my recruiting visit, actually, and right before I left, the last thing I said was save number 5 for me, and I just walked out the door. But when I got here, they didn't really say anything about numbers for the longest time, and I just let it play out. And then I got a phone call from a coach, and he just basically told me that we're going to put you in number 1, and I just thanked him. And I knew it came with a lot behind it, you know what I mean? But I believe in myself, and so that's why I was, I just said thank you and just moved on. And, I wear it on my chest every day, so that's how I walk around.
Can you talk about your dad's influence on you and just what it was like growing up with a guy that had that background?
Yeah, my dad's everything, He's my biggest critic, so I think that's really important as having as a father figure. You know, I mean, we joke about this all the time. When I was 2, you know, that's when he first taught me to catch a football, and every catch I'd get, he'd give me a Skittle. So, you know, that just shows, you know, how, you know, much of a blessing it was to have him, you know what I mean? Because it started since I was young, and he never stopped. He still texts me to this day, long paragraphs. Every day after practice, I'm expecting a text message from my dad talking about this, and then I'll send him clips of practice, and I'll ask his feedback. He's, you know, I just believe everything he says, you know, and because what he has said, you know, and taught me has taken me so far. So, you know, it's really important because not a lot of people out there have it, and it's truly a blessing.
Eventually, you have to stop giving you Skittles. Though.
Yeah, eventually. Actually, I like Skittles still. So maybe.
But I mean, you're doing it on the jugs machine.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna have to hand me a lot of Skittles. I'm gonna catch everything.
How hard was it leaving Tempe?
I mean, it was really hard because it's home. You know what I mean? And I've been there for so many years, you know, so it was my very first time ever leaving Arizona. You know what I mean? I've never lived anywhere else, just Arizona. So, I mean, it took a lot for me to pick all my stuff up and leave, you know what I mean? But I know this was a really good opportunity for me, and I know I needed to do it, you know. And it just came up, and I knew it was the right time to do it, and it's a blessing to be here, and this is home now.
What was his reputation at Arizona State?
He had a great reputation. I think they miss him over there, so and talk about him.
Do your parents did they get to come?
To the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were at the game.
They're
Yeah.
able to come to every home game?
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't hear my dad yelling.
So they're
Yeah,
gonna be
they
able
were.
to come to every single one?
They're gonna try to come to every single one. So yeah.
It's going to be a sellout again on Saturday night.
Yeah, no, I heard. I told him right away.
And what do you think of that?
I think that's amazing because, I mean, in my previous games, I didn't really, you know, get too many sellout games. So it's really good. I think that we need to sell at every game. I think that should be the mindset. You know, we need to sell at every game because every game we're coming. You know what I mean? And we're gonna bring our all.
Do you still keep up with some of your teammates? And if so, have they ever said anything about Emory Jones and what he's done over there?
Yeah, I still keep up with some of my teammates because, you know, they're still family to me. I'm not going to just, you know, leave them in the dust. But, yeah, I asked about Emory. He's doing really well over there. I watched the last game, too, his first game over at ASU. He did a good job.
I know you're coming from a Power 5 university, so it's not like that big of an upgrade. Are there some off-the-field resources here that you just didn't have at Arizona State that you're taking advantage of?
Yeah, I mean, just to start, this building, to be honest. And, I mean, it's a really nice building. So I think, yeah, there's definitely a lot of things that around here and resources that they didn't have over at ASU. But I think the people, to be honest, that are in this building, it's so detailed. Like, there's so many people here that work in different fields. And it's like, whatever question you have, it's going to get answered, you know what I mean? And so I think that's really important.